We bought the house in Sunrise Valley at the height of summer. The real estate agent handed us the keys with a radiant smile, gesturing towards the perfect streets with their manicured lawns. The safest neighborhood in the state, she assured us. She especially praised the family across the street, the Carters, the real soul of the neighborhood, she said. The first few days matched the description perfectly. Every morning at exactly 7:30, Mrs. Carter would appear on the porch with a watering can in her hand. Her movements were precise. 3 steps towards the rose bushes, 2 towards the hydrangeas, 5 seconds for each flower. Right at 8, Mr. Carter would appear in his impeccably ironed shirt, get into his dark blue sedan, and drive away without a single abrupt movement. Their children, a girl of about 8 and a younger boy, would come out at exactly 5 to 8, take their position by the mailbox, and stand motionless, waiting for the school bus. At first, I admired this discipline, but by the end of the second week, admiration gave way to a slight unease. Their movements repeated with frightening accuracy. The same tilt of the head while watering, the same number of seconds checking the mail, the same angle of a smile when our eyes met. The first real unease came deep in the night. Waking up thirsty, I went to the bedroom window and saw a light on in the Carters' living room. Behind the uncurtained window, the whole family was sitting in armchairs, perfectly straight backs, hands on their knees. They weren't moving, talking, or watching TV. They just sat and stared into emptiness with frozen smiles on their faces. At 3 in the morning, the lights went out simultaneously in all the windows. In the morning, Mrs. Carter was watering the flowers as if nothing had happened. When she turned in my direction, I saw the same smile, wide but not reaching her eyes. Her gaze was empty and glassy, like that of an expensive doll. I started observing them. Every evening at 9:30, the lights in their house went out according to a strict script. First on the first floor, then on the second floor. But sometimes at night, shadows would flicker in the windows. They would freeze as soon as I approached my own window, as if someone was monitoring my movements. On Wednesday, our ginger cat, Barsic, got through a hole in the fence and ended up on their property. When I went out to get him, Mrs. Carter appeared on the porch so suddenly as if she had materialized from thin air. Her smile became unnaturally wide, the corners of her mouth pulled up too high. She watched silently as I picked up the cat, and when I looked up, she slowly shook her head. Her eyes remained motionless and empty. That same evening, I found a dead pigeon on the porch. The bird was lying on its back, its legs neatly folded, its feathers perfectly smooth. There wasn't a drop of blood or any signs of a struggle. 2 days later, Barsic disappeared. Only a handful of ginger fur remained on his bed, arranged in a neat circle. Now I notice their constant presence. Mr. Carter stands at his office window looking at our house. The children stop by our fence on their way to the bus and turn their heads in sync. Their smiles have become even wider, even more strained. At night, I've started waking up to a faint scraping at the front door. The sound is like someone sifting through keys, trying to find the right one. Yesterday morning, while shaving in front of the mirror, I suddenly noticed my own smile, wide, unnatural, with tense corners. I couldn't relax my facial muscles for a full 15 minutes. Last night, the scraping at the door was louder, and when I looked through the peephole, I saw only a shadow. Tall, thin, frozen in waiting. Now I understand that their smiles are not an expression of joy. They are a warning. And the last thing you see before you become part of their flawless, silent world. I'm writing these words by the light of a desk lamp. It's 3 a.m. The lights are on in the house across the street, and 4 silhouettes are sitting in the living room, their heads turned in my direction. They are waiting, and my reflection in the window is smiling their smile.
3 days have passed since I wrote those words. The sunlight no longer feels warm. It's harsh, desiccating now, highlighting every crack in this perfect world. I haven't left the house. The mailman leaves correspondence in the box, and I hear his hurried steps as he retreats. He senses it too. The food in the refrigerator is running out. Yesterday, I tried to order delivery. A young guy on a scooter pulled up to the gate but didn't come in. He looked at the Carter's house, then at my door, and his face twisted with genuine fear. He dropped the bag of food right by the gate and sped off without looking back. When I opened the door an hour later to retrieve the order, the bag was gone. In its place lay a neat bundle of wilted roses tied with a black ribbon. I've stopped sleeping. The scraping at the door repeats every night exactly at 2:17 a.m. Now a new sound has joined it, a quiet, rhythmic tapping on the living room window pane. Not as if someone is knocking from the outside, but as if from within, from between the panes of glass. Tap, tap, tap. Pause. Tap, tap, tap. I taped the window shut from the inside, but the sound didn't stop. It just became muffled, as if its source truly is between the glasses. Yesterday evening, I saw something new. The Carter children were playing on the lawn. They weren't running or shouting. They just stood facing each other, and without taking their eyes off me, swayed from side to side in perfect sync. Their movements were absolutely identical, like marionettes controlled by the same hand. And their parents watched this from the porch with the same frozen smiles. This morning, I discovered that all the clocks in the house, on the microwave, the oven, the alarm clock, are exactly 7 minutes slow. I tried to reset them, but they returned to this time, 7:23. I don't understand what it means, but this number haunts me now. It blinks with red lights in the gloom of the kitchen. My reflection continues to change. The smile has become less strained, more natural. It's no longer a grimace, but a calm, almost blissful expression. But it isn't mine. I feel no joy, only a chilling horror that sits somewhere deep inside, while my face lives its own life. I try to scream at the mirror, but my face maintains this languid, sleepy calm. They are no longer just watching. They are getting closer. This afternoon, Mr. Carter crossed the street and walked slowly towards my house. He stopped at the very edge of my lawn, his shadow falling on the porch. He stood like that for about 10 minutes, looking at the front door, and then just as slowly returned. He wasn't checking the mail. He wasn't doing anything. He was just marking his presence. I'm sitting by the window looking at their house. The light in the living room is on. All 4 of them are standing at the window, shoulder to shoulder, looking directly at me. Their smiles seem almost sad now, almost sympathetic. The scraping at the door is starting again. Today it's louder. and more prolonged. I think they are tired of waiting. I look at my reflection in the dark monitor screen. My lips are stretching into a wide, welcoming smile. My hand reaches for the door handle. I think I finally understand what they want. They don't want to cause harm. They want company in this perfect, quiet, eternal world.